Hey Scorpio, look at that. That's what we're going to be talking about when it comes to the month of June for you folks. So welcome everybody, glad you're here, nice to see everybody here. I have a lot to share with you. Before I jump in, I just always gently remind people there are a lot of links below. Please go check it out. My guys are saying there's a library. There are some things that will help you understand the astrology of the moment, and link to my website. My guides are telling me. Okay, sorry, almost forgot. I have still, this is what my guides are saying, I have still the opportunity to offer very low priced readings because of this crisis that we're in. And the price for a 30-minute reading is $35. So the price is slowly going up. I had bumped it all the way down to $25 just as a love offering, and slowly it's going to bump up now. So if you've been waiting or hesitating, whatever, or if this is just your moment, go for it. Link is there. Link to my website is there. We are gathering. There is a group of people that are gathering on Sunday afternoons via Zoom. And we are actively weaving the tapestry that my guides have been talking about for a long time. So we would love to have you join us. All the information is below. I'll look forward to hearing from you. So Scorpio, let's jump right in. This is very important, my guides are saying. As you know, the sacred blade is what the shamanic realm uses when something needs to be released. Especially if what needs to be released is you. So when the blade comes out and it points upward, we're talking about positive outcome. And the increase, my guys just said, the assured ability for you to be able to take the actions that need to be done so that you can, in part, protect yourself, use the discernment of your knowing in order to cut the cord of the things that are binding you and sapping your energy, preventing you from moving forward into your life. So that's the first oracle card out. It's really beautiful. And the next one, actually, this is why sometimes I shuffle in front of the camera, because it's hard to understand how true this is. This card has come out for every water sign. And you're the last water sign reading that I'm recording. So do yourself a favor, go look at Cancer. It's very important. You folks are released now from the North Node, because Cancer was in the North Node for 18 months with Capricorn in the South Node. You know, all the destruction, all the things that were meant to be destroyed and released, Capricorn's taking care of that with the help of Pluto. And today's the 30th. So, unless you live under a rock like me and you have no television and you don't listen to the radio, we all know what's going on around the country right now. And it's very sad. It's just uniquely heartbreaking. And it's adding to the heartbreak that we're all feeling about COVID-19. And it's adding to the heartbreak that you're feeling, Scorpio, because you feel it so deeply about the things in your life that aren't working, that causes you literally to cut yourself free and prepare yourself to finish your, my guy just said elopement, to finish your development in order to move on, because there's a legacy of light coming forward. And I love that that's coming out for Scorpio, because we think of you in the deep, right? In the shadow side, in the dark, all that kind of stuff. No, not anymore. Because the water element now is handed love. My guides are saying the propagation of love, which is why Cancer was in the North Node, to lead us forward into that destination. That work is done now to the degree it's meant to be done. And so you are being liberated along with Capricorn. If you really want to, have some deep discussion with my guides, or listen to the discussion coming from them, watch Capricorn and Cancer. Okay? If you're still at home and you're hanging out. Something magnanimous. My guys keep saying magnanimous, and I want to say the word magnificent. So I'm not sure why they're using that word, but nonetheless, you're being liberated. And you are coming forward. Like the fairy tale of the swan that starts out as an ugly duckling that doesn't fit in. and can't figure out why it doesn't fit in. And I don't remember exactly the story, but eventually it becomes clear that that little duckling is not a duck. It's actually a swan. So grace, beauty, the ability to transmute, which is deeper than transform, but yes, both, your energy, yourself, and grow into the fullness of your beauty and grace. Because you are, well, this one, you are released. You're going to use the blade and release yourself. And it's a signifier from the universe as well. That thing I was talking about. So in the life cycle of a water sign, a frozen state, a fluid state, and a gaseous state in the atmosphere. So the love element of the water sign people has been handed into Gemini, the sacred twins. Very active mental ability. Astute, my guides are saying. In this time, they're saying that sometimes they talk to me in sign language, okay, which is why you see me doing it all the time. So what's coming through is that it's time to understand that love energy is purposely being handed to the air element people for the next, it's probably like 18 months, something like that, in order to allow it to flow out into the atmosphere. After all the work that the water sign folks have done, because when your element is in the North Node, it affects you. Just like any other astrological event that happens in your sister sign. So, this beautiful legacy of light. Look at that, Scorpio. That's what's coming forward now for you. Because you have done your service in a sense. And now you are free. My guys are talking to me about a little piece of my story. So I have Scorpio in the 8th house, along with Vesta. So part of what's coming through is, I always say, make sure to get with your astrology. Really know your chart. And just in a light-hearted way, just start to delve deep. Use the internet. Look at what are the placements in each of the houses, all that stuff. So I have Scorpio and Vesta, and I think Lilith in the 8th house. Can you imagine? That's how deep I go. It's why I can see. In part, there are other things in my chart that help me understand why do I have this type of vision. So I have this conceptualization of Vesta, which is about the Vestal virgins and how they go into a cloister and they stay there for many years, and they are meant to just burn brightly as a blue flame to light the world so that people have something to go toward. That's the tradition. Well, I've been here for almost 20 years in this place, and I'm making preparations to leave here now. My journey last year, the last 6 months has been part of it, but I believe it's just continuing. So when the Vestal Virgins have done their service, they are released. So my guys, clearly they're chattering about that kind of a notion. So I want to show you what's going on, and they want you to understand the theme of the reading and how it represents what your journey has been because of Cancer in the North Node, and particularly, specifically, what your journey has been since the full moon last month in Scorpio. And now we are coming forward into a full moon eclipse in Sagittarius, which happens to be in the South Node. All about the things that you can release now in a very powerful way. So here's the theme from the beautiful Celtic Wisdom deck. There's the full moon again. So you've been in a very powerful cycle from full moon to full moon. This, you know what, I don't honestly remember if this came out in your reading last month, but this is the 7 of Pentacles. So now, after this completion point, after this full moon eclipse, now we're going to come forward. All of us that have Scorpio active in our charts, we're moving forward into a place where we can experience growth. And we did have to go into the deep. We're working on preventing a tragedy, or there's something really difficult in your life that you had to face, and it brought a death and rebirth type of cycle forward. In the end of this story, there's this person who does this task, there's a reward. And the task was go out and put a rope around a corpse, and you get, if you're brave enough to do that, my guys just said, if you're brave enough to suck that up, then, you get some money from the king or something. It's a tradition. So this person had a vision. And when the vision came to them, they went deep, into the deep. That's why my guys are talking about Scorpio and the Vestal Virgins, etc. Just going into the deep the way nobody else but a Scorpio can do. There, this person met with some magical folk, some fairies, and specifically a feminine entity within the fairy realm. She said, you got to go back and cry out a warning. You have to take care of your business. That's what my guides are talking about, more so really than the factors of the fairy tale. So finish it up, Scorpio, whatever it is that you're working on. Do your best to bring things to completion now. This full moon is going to help you. It's going to affect all of us. It's a very powerful moon because it's a full moon lunar eclipse. This is going to affect us straight through to the end of the year. So continue to pull on the strings of this and use it to inform your life and your decision making and understand yourself primarily. So there we go. There's the reward in a sense. That's the Justice card. So whatever you've been trying to work out, I know a lot of people who are separating from relationships or suffering in some way, Scorpio folks, having challenges. This is the sacred bowl of all healing. This indicates a great healing through coming to a justice point, so to speak. Those are elderflowers. Buy yourself some elderflower tea and have a cup of tea on the full moon. And if you have the opportunity, just go sit out in the moonlight. Hopefully wherever you are, you'll be able to see it. And my guides are saying, and do some exploring about the eclipse. There is a link below. Okay, so go check it out. This is about the sacred triple brotherhood. The three parts of the tripartite soul, the sons of Brigid. It's that kind of a, my guides are saying, that kind of a natural story. So the sacred triad, that's what they're trying to talk about. When you come through, all the way through the major arcana of any deck, this is the second to the last card. The last card is the world card. So just before you get to that station, you have a massive healing. That's what my guys are talking about. And the tripartite nature of your soul, because you've been on this circuit of existence for 18 months, then we had the Scorpio full moon. Now we've got a full moon with an eclipse. It's the best thing for a Scorpio, really. Your soul is going to be made free to step on to the next path, the next existence pathway. So that's the theme of the reading. You are going to have an opportunity now to, through these beautiful moon cycles, you're going to make your garden grow. So if you're literally growing a garden, use the cycles of the moon. That's the Three of Cups. Celebration, because obstacles have been removed. There's the obstacle. That couple was trying to get married. Somebody was standing in their way, and they had to use some very smart thinking and some wily magic to get that person who was, greedy and wanting to interrupt things because they were angry and feeling rejected, all that kind of stuff. So Scorpio, you know what? There's no reason to fight over things. Use your wits. Use the deep knowledge that you have, the ability to cross over into the sacred realm, and use vision to untangle the knot of whatever the problems are in your life at this point. That's the other thing that's coming through to me about this. So they found a way to invite the person who was standing in their way to their wedding. And they filled up a bag with trinkets and, gold jewelry and whatever. And when the person came, they said, here, this is for you. Go check it out. And when the person realized what was in the bag, they literally stepped into it because of their greed. And the bag swallowed up, tied itself in a bow, and they just hung it on a hook. Went forward with the wedding. So a celebration of the ability now to grow your garden, untangle the knots, solve the problems, actually connect with people. Because I know that's what you really want, Scorpio. So the universe is with you now in these days going forward. And look at that. The warrior of knowledge. I love this. You've been through your tests. You've been through your difficulties. You've been dealing with the beast in your life on some level. There's something that's been really hard for you. The story behind this is he had to go out into the forest and fight a wild boar with just his wits. And anybody who knows anything about those creatures knows it's impossible. You can't win. But he did. So it's really interesting that my guys are talking about a knot. It's actually this way on the table. You know, freeing yourself and having some celebration. And I think it's the acknowledgement that you've been through a lot and you've been through your test, so to speak, and you did well because he prevails in the end and he ends up marrying the princess. You know, it's a fairy tale, right? So because you're going through in this manner, you're going to have a rebirth process, going through the sacred birth canal of the universe. I have to cover that up because YouTube gets in trouble with their advertisers. Somebody out there thinks that's obscene. I think it's obscene that they think it's obscene, but nonetheless, that's what's real for now. So, do you see the shaman carrying the head across the portal? That's the sacred feminine portal of the universe. So you are literally, and because you're a Scorpio, of course you're having a death and rebirth process. My guides are basically advising you to go straight into your own nature. Love yourself and all the trials and tribulations to the best of your ability. You're reaching a success moment because you're being liberated. You're not directly serving the collective anymore. So the strings of your energy are not tied to the North Node. There was a real important job that was being done, and you were all called in. Pisces reading is the same thing. Swan came up. Swan came up for Cancer, and Swan's coming up for you. So you're all being carried across the gap, in a sense. So when the new moon comes, look at that. This I can't remember if this came up for if that came up for Cancer. Anyways, check it out. There's definitely a theme going on for the water signs. So when the new moon comes, have a ceremony, because this also is in some way about going through the deep. But it's a 5. Combative skills, 5 of Wands. A certain particular type of argument or battle, if you will. Actually, you see how she's filled with warts, and there she's controlling the water element. So there is still going to be a challenge. But the way you approach your challenges is changing now. That's what this indicates. So, you know, the bickering and the fighting and the whatever, raise it up to the next level. Okay? Because you have the capacity now to overcome. So this woman is the goddess of sovereignty. She's disguised as the sacred egg. And she controls the water element. You know, factors of Venus. Love, abundance, beauty, the notion of slaking your thirst, my guides are saying. As you know, as a life event, you have the ability now, because of all the work you've done and because the planets have changed and the cosmos has changed, you're going to be able to reveal yourself now, because you are going to be able to rise up out of the deep. Do you see how she's on the land? So it is about the Scorpio element here on the earth. And a turning point, because it is a 5. 5 is a change point. People were asking her for her water, and she correctly responded by doing that. Basically, yeah, I'll share my water with you. You have to give me a kiss. Because if you want something from me that requires me to give of my love energy, my life energy, the water, the nature of a water sign, you have to return in kind and be able to do it with love and respect and real presence and real dignity. So my guys are saying count the days. Count the days till the new moon comes. And when the new moon comes, I think you will be more prepared, actually, to have this experience and to come out and reveal yourself, because that's what she eventually does. Finally, somebody came along who was able to meet her requirements. And then the disguise fell away, and of course, she's an incredibly gorgeous creature like a Scorpio is, right? The young man who was able to meet the requirements that she rightly had rose to be the king. They were betrothed, and since she's the goddess of sovereignty, they were sacred sovereigns together. So there's something about the energy that's coming to you, at you, my guides are saying. Be very discerning in your life and understand the fairy tale. My guides are saying the epic. Understand the... hang on one second, they're talking. They want you to understand how that reflects into your life. And it stands on the table next to that. So when this healing happens, these things are going to come forward in this way. So when you look at the picture of the cards, which I will post on the community tab in my channel, just go to my homepage and this will be there under community tab. You're going to be able to reveal your full self. That's what it is. Thank you, Spirit. Because the healing will have happened. You've gone down into the deep because of these moon cycles and because of all the things I've been talking about, the North Node, all that stuff. So on a soul level, in your human life, we see that your trials and tribulations, in some measure, have been relieved. It doesn't mean you're never going to have another challenge. We're here to be human. We're going to have them. But look on a soul level. You're now able to manifest because you can drop the disguise, actually emerge in your true image with all of your grace and beauty intact. And when that happens, just like the goddess of sovereignty, when that happens, she was able to manifest a kingdom, a queendom, a sovereign rule in a sense. So we're talking about you having sovereign rule over your own life, and therefore on a soul level, that's what you've been working towards. Manifesting that ability to come out of the cauldron. Look, Scorpio, this is fabulous. I just said, make yourself a birthday cake, because it's a new day for you. I love this. Thank you so much, Scorpio, for all the work that you've been doing. So when you get in that frame, oh, by the way, not just manifesting, that's the goddess Semius. That's the Ace of Cups. So the work that you've done and the things that you desire in your life on a soul level, the prophecy is there. This is a prophecy about destiny coming forward when it comes to sacred love. The height of love, as it can be experienced, that's what your soul's working on in this lifetime. That's why you're here to transit. They're saying traverse and transit, and part of it came through in Spanish for some reason. Must be somebody listening who's a Spanish speaker, a native Spanish speaker. So, yeah, okay, they're chattering about language. Understand that your soul now enters a new phase, a new circuit. There's a new prophecy coming forward, the Ace of Cups, and the way that can rule in your life predominantly, changing your trajectory. And so we see this card, the elopement of knowledge. So another cauldron, another vessel. This is about massive awakening, all in a moment, unintended. My guides are saying uninvited. It's just destiny. So when you start manifesting your destiny, something fabulous is going to happen. So this card, this one, that's the Eight of Pentacles in this deck. So it's the Eight of Pentacles is about all the hard work that you're doing and that you have done to reach mastery. You're going to be in this next circuit, this next cycle of your soul. That's your intention, is to have mastery, and you're going to go through many shifts and many changes. Some of it's going to come on really rapidly because you're actually going to, my guys just said, you're going to incite it by the manifestation, that prophecy that's here on a soul level. You are literally calling it forward. That's fabulous. And in the end of the story, the person who's working on the mastery, working on shift and change, while some freak out is occurring, definitely, they emerge. Thank you, Spirit. They emerge as a profound wisdom healer. So there's something about your ability that's moving forward. And I am well aware that my guides just said healer. I meant to say wisdom holder, but my guide said healer. And it came straight through. That wasn't from me. So there's something big going on. And in terms of the way you're going to emerge, it's going to be a healing for you very definitely. And here's why. Look, another 3, another sacred triad. This is the 3 of Pentacles. It's the moment when we see someone standing in a temple, building the temple, and the guides come to them. The benefactors come to them. There's a meeting that happens in a sacred place. Let's shine a light on the plans. What is it that is meant to happen next? What is it that you need? How is it that we can be assistance to you? So you're coming into direct contact with the guides and the angels and the ascended masters, all that kind of thing. And based on that's coming forward, it sits in line like this. I want to show it to you so you really get it, okay? Oh, it's going to be hard. Okay, so see that? That's the Death card. That's the Liberator of Devotion. That's on the human realm. Here in the theme of the reading, we see the full moon. There is something being eclipsed. That's what he's seeing. And he goes to the sacred realm to ask for some assistance. And just above that, we see the assistance happening. So, Scorpio, trust your journey. I know it can be hard sometimes. But believe me, I know. There are moments when we just have to let go. And if you have any doubts, I want to assure you that I'm experiencing this in my life because of all the water in my chart. There's a lot of water in my chart in very significant placements. And I am in the process of releasing myself in all kinds of ways from all kinds of situations because I know it's time for me to move on. It doesn't make it particularly easy, giving birth to yourself, not always easy depending on the process that you have to go through. But your devotion is being liberated. I love the way the Death card is displayed in this deck. The Liberator of Devotion. Literally shamanic shift and change. In a very deep, very loving, sacred feminine type of journey. Sheila Nagi was found on churches, placed on churches in the realm of the Celts, Western Europe, Britain, Scotland, Ireland. When the Christians came and tried to take over the pagan thought mind, then part of what happened was they just built churches on the sacred pagan sites in an attempt to convert people. Well, okay, maybe you can't control that if you're one of those people, but you can sneak in the night and put this on the church, and that's what they did. And I think it was the women of the clan who would go to the church and say, well, okay, you want to have your portal to the divine on our sacred site? Then we're going to put our portal to the divine on your sacred site. So nobody knows where they came from or who put them there. There's no knowledge, which is part of what I love about it. It just happened they would pop up. And interestingly, at least as far as I know, people didn't remove them. They just left them there. So for many years, people thought, this was about body sexuality, etc. No, it's not. No, it's a total misunderstanding of the purpose of this type of it's not a carving. My guides have been calling it a casting that, showed up, I think, on the north wall of churches. So you can look that up in the internet. There's not a lot of information, actually, because people just really don't know. So here's your outcome. You're moving on. What was I just talking about? Thank you, Spirit. There we go. That's what all that chitter chatter was about. So let me hold it over here. Maybe less glare. The Chariot card. A major arcana card about moving on as the outcome for your reading. Seeds of new growth are growing. You're literally connected to the Great Mother, the Mother Goddess. That's what this is about in a sense. All right. So we see all these ideas, all these things that have to, peppered through the reading. We're talking about, in essence, the Mother Goddess, the height, if you will, of the sacred feminine, moving through the reading, winding its way through the reading, rising up, emerging, manifesting, and now, in these moments, when the emergence is complete, then you move on. That's what a cycle looks like, my guides are saying. So, Scorpio, you know how much I love you. You're fabulous. All the Scorpios I know, fabulous human beings. I'm going to pick, let's see, from the bag of runes. And we'll give you one more notion and set you on your way. Thanks so much, everybody. I just want to thank the people. People have been sending donations to my channel. I want to just thank you for that. It just touches my heart so deeply. I really appreciate it. It's just such a loving thing to do in a time like this. Spirit, send something. One more piece of information for beautiful Scorpio. There it is. See, it jumped right into my hands. Wow, love this. Thank you, Spirit. So this rune is about going into the deep in order to emerge back up into the light. Thank you, Spirit, so much. Okay. I'm just going to read quickly from the book. It's beautiful. So this indicates the yew tree. This is Awaz. This is about defense, avertive powers, and the way those things play out in your life. So as we are tested, hang on, my guides want me to hold this up. As we are tested, we fund the power to avert blockage and defeat. That's what the whole reading's about. And then you emerge. At the same time, we develop in ourselves an aversion to the conduct that creates stress in our lives. If there appears to be an obstacle in your path, consider that even a delay may be beneficial. Do not be overly eager to press forward. Interesting, isn't it? I like it. This is not a time or a situation in which you can make your influence felt. If this is a time for patience. It is the counsel of this rune. It is time in order for you to utilize nothing hectic in terms of your energy. No acting needy. No lusting after a desired outcome. The rune speaks to the difficulties that can arise at the beginning of a new life. So that's why we're seeing these kinds of cards. Thank you, Spirit. Did you have some difficulties? Of course you did, because you're human, right? That's how I think of it now, at this point in my life. I just think, well, yeah, I'm still human, and I'm going to have my challenges, and I will, my guides just said, and I will supersede them. Whew. So, since you are beginning a new life, sometimes it is a time of waiting for a spring to fill up with water and for fruit to ripen on the bough. Perseverance and foresight are called for. The ability to foresee consequences before you act is the mark of a profound person. Avert anticipated difficulties through right action. That's what these people did. Thank you, Spirit. And yet, even more than we are doers, we are deciders. That's so true. Once your decisions are clear, the doing becomes effortless, for then the universe supports and empowers your action. Receiving Awaz, you are put on notice that through inconvenience and discomfort, growth is promoted. This may well be a trying time, and certainly it is a very meaningful time. Set your house in order. Tend to your business. Be clear. and wait on the will of heaven. Ooh, Scorpio, I'm getting choked up now. So beautiful. So the fact that this rune is associated with the yew tree, go to the internet and look up the yew tree so you know what that's all about. Yew trees, so I'm told, some plants grow external roots, and then they dig down into the ground, they burrow under the ground and come up somewhere else. So that's what we're talking about in a very real way. A very real way. So Scorpio, whatever you've been going through, you're in the process of re-emerging now in a very new place that it's going to allow you to move your life forward. So gang, take heart. If you've been stressing, go straight into this eclipse, drink some elderflower tea, and just sit and look at the moon. Or if you can't see the moon and it's cloudy where you are, then make yourself write a poem or light a candle or something like that. Okay, gang? Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I'll look forward to seeing you in July. Bye now. Thanks again.